How's it going, everyone? As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. This is Deck Ready, my channel all about Steam hardware. And in today's video, we got to talk about the Steam controller and the Steam machine because we got some big updates on both. I hope you're having a great week playing a ton of video games. Let everyone know what you're playing down in the comments below. Also, subscribe to the channel, set your notifications to all if you haven't already. But with the intro out of the way, let's get into this first topic here and talk about the Steam controller. This weekend was crazy. Like, I was at the gym on Friday and then I saw this review go up for the Steam controller. Obviously it was early. It was from a channel called Techie Talk. They delisted it immediately, but someone was able to rip it. That was spread all over Twitter. I was going to make a video, but like, I just feel bad in those scenarios where like clearly someone made a mistake and Valve wasn't ready for it to be announced. And I figured if reviews were ready and they had it scheduled for that time and it went live and they realized it was wrong, like maybe Valve changed the embargo, it wouldn't be long before Valve made the official announcement. So I decided to pump the brakes. I was right because now it's Monday and everything has been announced. So as far as the price goes, it's going to be $99. This created a massive argument all weekend long. Either some people thought it was way too expensive. Other people thought, you know, it was the right price. I live in reality. I'm just going to come in a little hot there and say that at $99, that's exactly in the window I was expecting. If you go back to my video where I talked about it, I was like, it's either going to be $70 to $100. I don't see it being any more than $100. $100 was obviously my high end. I said I was in for 4 and that has changed a little bit. I was in for 4 at 75 bucks. I don't know why that makes such a big difference to me. Now I'm in for 2. I'm going to buy 2. I'm going to get 1 with my Steam machine. And then when I have 3, I'll evaluate whether or not I need more. Obviously just 1 more because who needs more than 4 controllers? Regardless, I think $100 is a completely fair price and I'll explain why. So if you look at the landscape of controllers, this one sits right in the middle of a regular controller and a premium controller. Regular controllers I would classify as like the DualSense regular edition or like the regular Xbox Series controllers or like the 8BitDo Ultimate controller. Those range anywhere from like $60 to $75. That's the low end. And then premium controllers like the Xbox Elite, when that came out, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure you will, I think that was like $275 for the first Xbox Elite controller, which is insane. Now I think they're like between $135 and $150 depending on where you get them. The DualSense Edge, which is a very premium controller, those are like $150 to $200 depending on where you get them. So like $100 for the Steam controller is right in the middle. And just from a hardware perspective, it really is right in the middle because it has premium parts, right? Like it's got the gyro, it's got the 2 trackpads, it's got Hall effect sticks. All of those add on to the cost, but on top of that, it comes with the puck, which is like a charging dock and a connection point for the controller, so you don't have to use Bluetooth. There's a lot being packed into the box, and you know, it's a very high quality looking controller. I was going to say high quality controller. I obviously didn't get my hands on it. I'm the one person who didn't get one sent to them, of course, but you know, I think it is right in the middle, and at 99 bucks, I'm fine with that. I think that's a totally okay price. One take on that I saw that was really interesting is people said that made them scared for the price of the Steam machine. We'll talk about that in the second half of the video, but like, I'll just point out that when they released the Steam Deck dock, it was $97. It came with the dock and an extra charger, and the Steam Deck at that point in time, the lowest entry level model was $400. So like, while they had a $100 accessory, they were also selling at a dirt cheap price of $400. So like, there's some reassurance for you guys that this isn't going to bump up the price of the Steam machine. And I don't think any of these shortages or supply chain issues, I don't think any of this affects the controller. I think the controller, if it's $100 now, it always was going to be $100. And you know, they're a smaller operation than someone like Sony. They don't have the economy of scale figured out. They're probably not selling these things in Best Buy, Target, or anywhere else. They're selling them directly from Valve. They're handling all the shipping. Like, I just think that price point is completely fair. I saw people saying that it's dead on arrival, blah, blah, blah. I don't really get that. I think it's console players farming engagement. They're clearly not in the market for this thing. Like, if all you have is a Steam Deck, I don't know why you'd buy it because it's just your Steam Deck without the screen. I don't know anyone who plays the Steam Deck with a controller outside of docking it. If you've got a Windows PC and you have an 8BitDo Ultimate controller, yes, it's more expensive than that, but it also provides a meaningful, noticeable out of the box upgrade for that $100 price. So yeah, as far as the price goes, I think it's completely fair. I would have obviously liked it if they hit a lower price of around $70 or $75, but like that $25 just for me personally is not make or break. There's no other way to say it. As for the release date, if you're following me on Twitter at deck_ready, you actually knew this early because I heard from multiple people who either have the controller or talk to someone who has the controller. I heard May 4th from a lot of people, and then today when I'm recording this video and probably when you're seeing it, the store page went up. It says it comes out May 4th. Doesn't seem like they're going to do any pre-orders for it, which makes sense because I'm sure they have a big supply of these things to sell. And like you don't need to do pre-orders for a controller. I don't need to explain that. It's a controller. It's an accessory. They didn't do pre-orders for the Steam Deck dock as far as I remember. I think you're going to be able to show up at 1 p.m. Eastern time or 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, add it to your cart and buy it. I do have a big tip for you guys though. Knowing that it's $99, calculate your local sales tax, add a little bit more than that to your Steam wallet, because as we've seen whenever a big game comes out or they launch something like the limited edition Steam Deck OLED, when everyone's trying to buy something on Steam at the same time, their payment processing sort of breaks down. And when you have to repeat a credit card transaction over and over again, you run the risk of it not going through, being pushed farther down the line of shipping, or also your debit card or credit card getting locked, and then you got to call Chase or whoever your bank is and figure that out. If you add the money to your Steam wallet beforehand, it solves all those problems. So just add enough to cover tax and potential shipping charges, which would be $5 or $10. So like $150 should be more than enough. And then any leftover you can spend on the next game you buy. It's just like adding a little bit of reassurance for you. But yeah, May 4th, right around the corner. I'm excited. I cannot wait to use it on my SteamOS TV PC. I've said this in other videos. I play a lot of games that don't have controller support. This is going to open up a lot of possibilities. And it's like the final puzzle piece, the final Lego brick that's going to make that SteamOS PC feel fully complete. What about the Steam Machine? Well, here comes Mike Straw from Insider Gaming with some insider info on Valve. Take it with a grain of salt, of course, because it's a leak, but this guy's reliable on his Valve leaks. I've seen enough stuff come true from him where I trust something if he says it. What he has said is that Valve is between a rock and a hard place, right? They can wait out the RAM crisis and hit the price they want to hit, or they'll release it soon and then they'll take a little bit of a loss because of the RAM prices right now. And as RAM prices start to fall, their profit margin will come up and they'll eventually make money on it. I'm going to be honest, that's what they should do regardless, right? Like every generation of console until the PS5, every manufacturer sold at a loss because they run the storefront. When people buy games on the specific storefront, they make money and then they make back the money they lose on the hardware by you buying games, because that's what it's all about, right? Buying and playing games. That's what I like talking about, buying and playing games. That's what makes them money. That's what makes everyone happy. They're making a console. They own the storefront. They're going to make a lot of money off games, because even though you can install the Epic Game Store, even though you can install the Ubisoft Store, even though you can install GOG, and you might buy a few games on any of those stores or claim free ones on the Epic Game Store, 99% of your purchases are going to be on Steam. Your hardest core of hardcore fans are the ones showing up to buy this hardware. I think they'll make the money back in seconds. Like the second someone locks in their order of the Steam Machine, they're going to turn around and buy games either on their Steam Deck or their Windows PC. They'll make the money back before they even ship the thing out of their warehouse. So like, I think that is the correct move. And it looks like they just didn't know that that was a good strategy, because it also came out that they're hiring someone like an accountant to look at their hardware situation and tell them how to operate it and make money at the end of the day. So it seems like they're learning. So the point is, I think this thing will come soon, even though the release dates are being split. I'm glad, because I'm very excited to get my hands on the Steam Machine. I know I have a better PC. I have two better PCs. I just like the Valve hardware. I like the whole boutique operating system that gets specific updates for the specific hardware. I like that you can wake it up with the controller. I just want my hands on it. And I've been waiting so long at this point, and it seems like it's right there. And I just want them to realize that it's smart to take a little bit of a loss, because they'll make it up extremely quickly through the Steam store being the main way people buy games on the Steam Machine. I think they can figure that out. With the Steam Frame, it's a little more complicated. I'd understand if they held that back until they're sure they can make a profit, because that thing's going to be niche, right? Like the more niche a device is, the more of a profit margin you need to have. I know people are excited for that thing, because once that's out, they get access to SteamOS for ARM chips, which will let them put it on their AYN Thors, their AYN Odins. That's legitimately exciting to me, because I just got an AYN Thor, but you know, I don't want that thing to crash and burn, right? Like there's a huge risk of any VR headset crashing and burning. You got a niche audience. They got to nail the price on that thing. I'd be more careful with that if I was Valve than the Steam Machine. Like, you know, if you hit a good price point with the Steam Machine, a lot of people are going to show up for it, and people are excited for it, right? Like, they're building their own Steam machines. The Playnix with the 9060 XT looks good. That came in at like $1,100. So as long as Valve can hit that like $600 to $700 window, which I know some people think is crazy, other people think is too expensive, I think it's going to be just fine. So we'll just have to wait and see there. But thankfully, we're seeing some development on the hardware and everything is heading in the right direction. And now I just got to sit here and wait to get my hands on this stuff. And I'm very excited. I hope you can tell. But yeah, also still working on Blender. Absolutely love it. I made these two trees. I like the pine tree more than the Halo 3 tree. The entire process was a nightmare. I don't like sculpting. I like the point line drawing where you like draw around an object and then you mirror modify it. It makes the other half fill in. Then any change you make on the first half affects the second. That clicks with my brain. Sculpting from a square does not click with my brain. These trees took me like 12 hours and they don't even look that good, but I still love this process. I have 47 courses left in the package I bought, and then I guess I'll be a game dev Blender pro. Maybe I'll make a game. And let me know if you want to see a really janky survival horror game from me down in the comments below. But that's all I've got for you in today's video. As always, my name is Jimmy Champagne. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching and shape on.